Hey, first off, I want to thank you for visiting my channel. I'm the Queen of Sheba, and this is Bible Q&A. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to see our latest videos. In this edition of Bible Q&A, the question is, what does the Bible say about helping people in need? Okay. As always, all my videos I mention that we come from the Apocrypha a lot because it is a part of the Bible that was removed in the 1800s. Okay, it has a lot of good instruction in it, so I think it's great for us to use it. We do use the regular King James Version as well, but this one will be coming from the Apocrypha. So again, the question is, what does the Bible say about helping people in need? The first verses that we're coming with is from the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4, verses 1 and 2. All right. It says, my son, defraud not. I'm sorry, verse 1 says, my son, defraud not the poor of his living, and make not the needy eyes to wait long. Verse 2 says, make not a hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress. So, in other words, these verses are pretty much saying don't try to play someone that may be less fortunate than you. If they are doing work for you or out there on the corner selling something like fruit or incense or anything like that, don't try to steal from them or make their life hard. If they are out there begging for money, let it be. Okay. If you promise something to them, don't take too long to do what you said you were going to do. All right. Don't try to make their lives harder, especially when they're going through hard times. That's for anyone, not just, for someone that may be down on their luck. Don't try to make anyone's life harder than what it already is. It'll turn out bad for you. Okay? The least and best thing you can do for someone going through hard times is feed them. Okay? So the next one is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 2, 4, 5, and 7. Okay? Really simple and it's repeated. Do good to the godly man. I'm sorry. Verse 2 says, do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense. And if not from him, yet from the Most High. Verse 4 says, give to the godly man and help not a sinner. Verse 5 says, do well unto him that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly. Hold back thy bread, and give it not unto him, lest he overmaster thee thereby. For else thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good thou shalt have had done unto him. And verse 7 says, give unto the good and help not the sinner. Okay. So as you see, it was repeated over and over to not help the sinner, okay, or the ungodly. All right. This has nothing to do with church. I just want to bring that up, and I'm going to say that again eventually. But being godly or ungodly has nothing to do with church. It's saying, do good to a godly man or one who is trying to live right. Don't help the sinner or the one that isn't trying to live right. Okay. You know which is which. Okay. The sinner may be someone trying to steal or mistreat others. The godly one may be someone who is trying to follow his or her dreams, take risks, help people along the way. I mentioned this because, again, it has nothing to do with going to church. Some of the biggest sinners are in church. Okay. But anyhow, let's see. When you do good unto a godly person, then you shall be paid back or rewarded for what you've done. If the person that you help isn't the one who is going to reward you for your help or service, then the Most High God will reward you. Okay. When you help a sinner, you will receive double the evil for the amount of good you have done unto them. Okay. That are done for them. For example, you give a sinner a ride to the store, and he goes in and he steals from there. Okay. Now you have to, as you leave, because they have you on camera, or they have the whole situation on camera, they have your license plate and your car on camera. So they're going to become looking for you. And all you did was give somebody a ride. Okay, that's a little basic, simple one, but they have no regards for other people like that. It's all about with them and what they're trying to do. So it's just best. I got a gang of stories actually where helping the sinner actually it's no good. And I don't care how long you've known them and what you've done for them or anything like that. That means nothing. I've learned that personally. It means absolutely nothing. Okay? And people always get caught up on, oh, but that's my family. It does not matter if they're your family or not. You're just better off if you know they're not living right, you know that, you know, their behaviors are questionable, they're not ready yet. So you let them be. Don't have yourself involved. But remember, it is good to help those that are less fortunate, but not those who are into mischief. Okay, so help people that are less fortunate, but don't help people that you know are into bad things. Okay, being poor and being or homeless and being into bad things sometimes are two different things. All right, sometimes they go hand in hand as well. So just take heed. So the next one is Ecclesiasticus chapter 29, verse 20. It says, "Help thy neighbor according to thy power, and beware that thou thyself fall not into the same." Okay, so this verse is pretty much saying to help people, but only as much as you can without putting yourself into a bad situation. If you don't have the means to help them, you just don't have it. Okay, sometimes just sending your positive energy and a prayer is all that you have to give, and that's enough. All right, so the next one is Ecclesiasticus chapter 29, verses 1 through 3. And it says, "He that is merciful will lend unto his neighbor, and he that strengtheneth his hand keepeth the commandments." All right, verse 2. Lend to thy neighbor in time of his need, and pay thou thy neighbor again in due season. Okay. Verse 3, keep thy word and deal faithfully with him, and thou shalt always find the thing that is necessary for thee. All righty. So pretty much what these verses are saying is that a merciful and godly man will lend or help his neighbor and help him get on his feet. Help your neighbor or let him borrow, but make sure that if you're the one that is receiving the help, that you pay it back as intended or as you promised, or as I should say, as expected. Okay. If you say you're going to pay it back or whatever, a certain time or date, make sure you do so. All right. So keep your word so when you need help again, that you are able to borrow again. All righty. So the next one is Ecclesiasticus chapter 29, verses 4 through 6. All right. So it says, "Many, when a thing was lent them, reckon it to be found, and put them to trouble that helped them." Okay. Verse 5. "Till he have received, he will kiss a man's hand, and for his neighbor's money he will speak submissively. But when he should repay, he will prolong the time and return words of grief and complain of the time. Okay, if he prevail, he shall hardly receive the half, and he will count it as if he had found it. If not, he have deprived him of his money, and he have gotten him an enemy without cause. He payeth him with cursings and railings, and for honor he will pay him disgrace." Okay. So pretty much what these scriptures are saying is that many people, when someone lets them borrow something, specifically or especially money, knows that they owe the person, but gives them a hard time when it's time to pay it back. They will speak kindly and do whatever needs to be done to get the money, but when the person asks for the repayment, they will take their time to repay. And with harsh words, they may say that they don't have it at all at that time. Okay. If the person that gave the money wins, he probably will get half of it back. And the God's gonna count it like he ain't gave them all, or he or she's gonna act like they ain't paid them back fully with a little partial payment that they gave. Okay. And if he doesn't, he won't get anything back. All right. And the two have become enemies for no reason. Okay. He repaid him with disrespect. That's what he got paid with. So that's pretty much how that goes. All right. Okay. So the next final verses would be Ecclesiasticus chapter 29, verses 7 through 10. Okay, so this is just finishing up. We're just talking about the people getting over on you, so you don't want to really help people. And it says, many therefore have refused to lend for other men's ill dealings, fearing to be defrauded. Verse 8, yet have thou patience with a man in poor estate, and delay not to show him mercy. Help the poor for the commandment's sake, and turn him not away because of his poverty. Okay, verse 10, lose thy money for thy brother and thy friend, and let it not rust under a stone to be lost. Okay, so these scriptures are pretty much saying it's because they have been scammed by others. Many refuse to let people borrow, thinking that it will happen again. But don't hesitate to help someone that is in need or that is doing bad. Help them, for you know it is the right thing to do. And also, there are commandments that address that, right? About helping people, loving people as you would love yourself, and all that good stuff. We'll talk about in some other videos later on. But it's the right thing to do to help someone. Okay, give the money away because you can't die with it anyway. All right, so they're talking about not letting it rust under a stone to be lost. You know, back in the day, when they were dealing a lot with coins like silver and gold and stuff like that, um, people used to instead of putting money in the bank, people would bury their money and stuff like that. So if you have it hidden somewhere, because of the natural elements, things rust, and even paper money. If you had paper money and you had it hidden somewhere, buried or whatever, and and you was there for many years, the stuff could disintegrate. So, either way it go, it's a loss. Nowadays, electronically, it is the same story. If you can't die with it, there's going to be a loss. So you might as well give it away while you can. But in no means am I saying give it all away. Make sure you put stuff away for you and your family, for future generations or whatever, all right? As always, again, I am the Queen of Sheba. Thank you for watching this video. You have a wonderful day. Like, share, comment. Till next time.